talking donkey. You might have seen a house fly, maybe even a super fly, but I bet you ain't never seen a donkey fly.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel, and thank you for joining. And now, in today's episode, we're going to go through some trades. We're going to, again, trade a player that can go 120 plus, maybe 150 this time. I'll give you another present. And maybe the player might have a change of role. He might play halfback. He might take all the kick-ins again. So I'm going to give you all a bonus. The player that I trade out, you're going to be so happy. Well, depends who I trade out, of course, because you might not even have him. Anyway, we're going to go through all the trade options because there are so many. And I'm tossing and turning, and I still can't decide which one I want to do. So we're going to go with a theme again, because as we did with our last video, we had a theme. You'll see it here, You'll Never Walk Alone. And it had a lot of positive feedback. So I decided every video I do, well, not everyone, but most of them I do now, will have a theme. And today's theme is tossing and turning at nights. The theme this week is hero. Now, I can't use the original artist in case of copyright, so I can use the imposters. Okay, so I got Alina. I can't even say her name. I don't even know who she is. But anyway, I'm going to use her voice because her voice sounds not too bad. And it's going to go for about 20 seconds. And this is the theme for today. Just come on down!
Late at night, I toss and I turn and I dream of what I need. I need a hero. I'm holding out for a hero till the end of the night. He's gotta be strong and he's gotta be fast and he's gotta be fresh from the fight. I need a hero.
That's our theme. We need a hero, so we're going to find a hero for us. We're going to find someone that's going to go nuts this week, and let's see what we can come up with. Now, here's the dilemma we have this week. Rookies that are available. Let's check them out, okay? Which rookies do we have available, and what are their job securities like? Now, I can assure you now, if we go, well, let's have a look here. Let's go to under 3 games, and let's go to under 200k, okay, well, about 180k. Now, who's available? We've got Oscar McDonald. The news out is not good that Luke Jackson is coming back, so job security is not good because Luke Jackson is back this week and Oscar McDonald job security is cooked, okay, because he's the one that's playing the second ruck and playing forward. Even though it says here defense, he's taken the exact role that Luke Jackson had, so is not good, okay. Now, let's go further down. Erasmus, we don't know if he didn't even play last week. So let's go from the players that played last week. Huswaite. Now, if we click on Huswaite, all right, click on Huswaite, because I was going to actually do this yesterday in my video, but I couldn't do it because the app wasn't working. So now it's working. Now we know for a fact that Nash is out for 4 weeks. So that gives us Huswaite for round 7. 8, 9, and 10. That's all we get him for. Okay, we've got him for 4 weeks. It's not even guaranteed we get 4 weeks, but let's just say 4 weeks. What is if he has to go at 70s? That's what he scored last time. How much is he gonna make? Okay, up until the end of the Gold Coast game, he goes up to 233k. He makes 110k. However, to get this, he needs to go at 70. Okay, now can he do it? Yes, he can. Okay, but there's no guarantees, but the good news is the coach gave him reps on the weekend and said he had a good game. But then again, they played West Coast. Everyone has a good game, so it doesn't mean nothing at the moment. So he's going to play Richmond this week, might have another good game. Then he plays Melbourne, might have another good game. And then he plays Gold Coast, he could have another good game. So it could be worthwhile for a quick 110 cash grab. So that's one option, Huswaite. But it does come with a gamble in case he gets dropped. But I can't see him getting dropped if he's going to score 70s and if Nash is out, because it's a like-for-like player. Although Nash and Huswaite are a little bit different, but same, but different. Different thing. Now, the next up we have is Buslinger. Now, Buslinger is 119k, but the only problem with Buslinger is that he's taken Jones's spots. Okay, now we know that they have a forward that's moved, a defender that's moved to the forward line, so there's a spare spot now in defence. And Buslinger was decent last week. But does that mean that Bustlinger is guaranteed to play every week? Now, we're not sure. Now, if Bustlinger goes at 60s, because it looks like he's a 60s man, okay, if he can get us up until, say, another 4 games, 1, 2, 3, 4, up until round, he gets 236, makes 110k. The more the better, obviously, but let's say he gets a 236, he also makes us about 120k, so he's an option. Job security, we don't know, okay? The problem here is this, okay? I'm going to show you something, and it's going to be disaster when we get to the bye rounds, okay? Let me show you something. Now, when we take out our rookies, okay, we need to take out the ones that are not playing, okay? Now, if we take out all our good rookies, let's say Davidson, okay, we take out Davidson, he goes out. What happens is we have one less rookie available to play in the bye rounds, okay? Now, when you got best 18, hopefully by the time we get to, say, round 13, 14, we have 22 primos playing. But in my case, the cash gen is very low, so we're going to have 22 spuds playing. Now, what happens is we need to have as many players available. Now, if the whole bench, okay, if we when we upgrade our team, we're going to have to use rookies. Now, when we trade out a rookie, let's say you're going to trade out a Lockie Ashcroft this week, okay, or Levi Ashcroft, sorry. Levi Ashcroft goes out this week. That means a playing rookie goes out, and in comes a rookie that has a not secure job security, or non-secure job security. So Levi Ashcroft goes out. Well, in my case, let's say I trade out, well, none of my players have got job security anyway, but Marias, Nevitt, and Gross, they're not playing anyway. But once we trade out the Lindsays and the trainers and the Bices, well, Bice can't get traded, or the Reeds, these have got job security. You want to keep your best rookies for as long as possible. Even the Stones, okay? Stones is a spud, okay? We know this. But at the end of the day, he can score a 78, and he's got job security. So even Cleary doesn't have job security, but he's here to make cash. But these rookies are absolutely vital now because when you get to the bye rounds, okay, show buys. Okay, let's go round 12. Got round 12. In my case, on field, I actually cover round 12. So because I got rid of all the players. Actually, what's Boyd doing there? Okay, Boyd, get back over here. Swap with the Conning now. So I've got 3 players missing. These 2 won't play, for example. Okay, we're gonna still have 3 players missing. How are we gonna cover these players if the rookies aren't playing? Okay, now that's round 12. We go to round 13. Okay, now again, round 13, we have 2 missing, and maybe a third one missing, well, 3 missing. Is the flex playing? Yes. So we've got to make sure, okay, let's go round 14, that round 14 is a big problem. Okay, now round 14, I have nobody playing, okay? I've got all my rookies are out, okay? The Sydney players, well, Peyton's not playing anyway, but Zach Reed's playing. Trainer will be traded out anyway, so it's not too bad. I've only got Dacos and Raul missing, and the Nank, and we're probably going to trade out the Nank anyway. So round 14 is not too bad. Round 15, we've got all the Melbourne players missing. Okay, so we're going to have the and the Adelaide players. So we've got Rankin, Petrarca. Now, if you got you also, well, actually, it's not too bad. The bye round's going to be easy. Okay, round 16, I didn't think it was going to be this easy. Round 16 is a problem, but by the time we get to round 16, you could just do some sideways trades because you'll have the free trades available. But the problem here is going to be the round 12 bye. Okay, so you need to cover, and you need to have rookies on field because otherwise you're going to have donuts, especially if you're missing 7 players. If you've got 7 primos missing in round 12 and no rookies to back them up, you're in big trouble. So round 12 is going to be a major disaster for a lot of teams. Now, with my current team, I've decided, due to a lack of cash, okay, lack of funds, okay, now we've decided that we're going to try to have the bottom end of the players are going to be maybe best 20, doesn't matter, top 20 defender, doesn't matter, but they're cheap ones, okay? So possibly you're going to have in my team the Zach Reeds. If he can go at 90s every week, I'm happy to keep him, all right? So Zach Reed can stay on on the park. I've got the Bice going at 90s. I'm happy because 90s is enough as long as my ceilings are massive. All right, so with the ceiling is the key. Because we've seen on the weekend, Gorn scoring a 170, whilst my ruckman goes at a 106. I've lost 70 points instantly. Okay, 70-point loss. We saw the Bont. He was going to go at 170, whereas my midfielder goes at 70, so I lose 100 points. So we got to try to get the absolute Jets, the best of the best in the team, and then cover them with cheapos, okay? Because unless you got a lot of cash, unless you got 14 mil, you can't have the best of the best team. So who are the cheapos that are on the horizon? Okay, is the question now. Which players are we going to target? Let's make a list. Well, I'm making a list for all of us, okay? Now, if you don't have Bailey Smith in your team yet, okay? Now, I think 75% do have him, but if you're one of the 25 that don't have him, he should be high on your lists, okay? Because he's averaging 110. To average 110 and to be priced at 497k is way unders. Because 110 average, if you have 110 average, if you have a magic number at 5 point, say, at 5, okay, 110 times 5 is 550k, so he's about 50k underpriced, Bailey Smith, okay, so Bailey Smith is one that you should be targeting. Now, who else can you be targeting around about the 500k range? Well, Flynn, if you don't have him yet, is at 340k. He has gone up 76k in value or 70k in value, so you probably missed a big pay rise. He's in 32% of teams. Is it too late to bring him in, if you're asking me? Okay, now, there's no such thing as too late, but you're probably better off going for a rookie due to his job security, because we don't know nothing about his job security, and he's got a tough matchup this week. If he gets smashed by Gorn, the chances are they may even drop him, so it's a high risk with Matt Flynn. Peter Wright, okay, he scored the 89. Problem is, he plays a bit of... He had 25 ruck contests on the weekend. The problem was he only got one hit out to advantage from that 25, so he's not a good ruckman, okay? So he's not going to get many ruck points. He kicked 2 goals. He needs to kick 2 goals every week to score well. So he can do it, but at 378k, it's a major risk because you're outlaying a lot of cash. So I'd say it's a pass. Now, Matt Roberts... is at 486k. Would you jump on him? No. The answer is no, because you're better off to get... I'm going to show you the cheaper ones, because you got now coming up in defence. You got some good options coming through now. You got at Sydney, okay, and you've got a defence played under 3 games. Okay, under 3 games. We got Callum Mills coming through, 357k. Even if the average is 90, okay, that's good enough now. So let's put him on the list. Callum Mills. These are cheap primos that we should be targeting now. So 357k, Callum Mills. Okay, this is not just shopping at the Aldi's. Okay, we've passed the Aldi stage. We can't even afford Aldi anymore. Now we're going to the black markets. Okay, we got second-hand shops, the reject shop. So we're gonna find Mills at the reject shop. 357k. Now, who else should we be targeting? Okay, let's have a look. Let's go down here. There are other players we should be targeting. We should be targeting from the Brisbane Lions. Okay, now he's really cheap. Okay, and where is he? Okay, the defender. Let's go defender. Okay, make it small. Coleman, 269k. Kitty Coleman, and that's cheap as chips. Okay, so you got a primo at 269k, and that's a bargain. So we are going to get a lot of cheap primos coming through, which then gives you the chance to get best of the best, maybe 3 or 4 of them in each line. Okay, get the guns that can go 130s, 140s. Although in defence, I'm struggling to find them right now, but you can get them hopefully. And so this is your alternative options now. So Coleman is one. Then we go to St Kilda. Another option coming through very soon, maybe even this week. We don't even know, and that's Poo-Poo. Okay, now how much does Poo-Poo cost? Okay, let's have a look. Poo-Poo, where is he? Philip, 313k. So let's go Poo-Poo here. That's 313k. So for with let's say 350, about 900k, just say roughly about 900, just over 900k, you can get 3 rookies off the field and bring in 3 players that could probably go at 90s. Okay, so that's a good deal. So and these 3 players, you can even use one of them if you're a richer club as your spare, as your 24th primo. Okay, maybe your poo can be floating around between. Let's go over here. Okay, so Pupu can possibly be the player that's, let's say, in this spot here. Okay, or let's just move one out. Okay, Pupu can go there. Okay, let's just, yeah. So Pupu comes here, so you can have virtually floating around half forward. You can use him as a loop between midfield and forward line once your team is complete. So Pupu's a perfect option, but you have to get him cheap. That's the plan. But don't get him until he plays 2 games, because we have trust issues, okay? Because I experienced it last year. Pupu gets injured very easily, okay? That's the problem. Now, this is the mid-price range, okay? Now, if we go to, who else can we get at around about the 370k range? Well, we do have another player from the Bulldogs, okay? We're going to go to Fraser. We're going to have a look at Fraser. The problem with Fraser, and I mentioned this yesterday's video, is that the Bont played. Actually, let's look for Fraser first. Let's find him. Players. Okay, let's go here. Players. Fraser. Okay, now Western Bulldogs. Fraser is 400k, so he's not that cheap. Okay, the other 3 here are actually cheaper than Fraser. Okay, Mills 357, Coleman 269, and Pupu is 313. So Fraser at 400k, not cheap, and also Fraser's role in that midfield. Because if you look at the Western Bulldogs midfields, okay, let's go to midfields. Fraser had 40% mid minutes on the weekend. Now he's not going to always have 40% mid minutes, and in that midfield you got Libba, Ed Richards, Kennedy. You got Sanders can't get in. You got the Bont, and then you got coming through now is Adam Treloar going to come back. So how does Fraser fit in here? And if Treloar comes back next week, for example, how much mid time is Fraser going to have? So and in defence they got a lot of half-backs as well. So Fraser's scoring, which was 49.50, may come back. So that's the problem. He does have the 2 good scores here, which is going to give him a massive pay hike this week. But how long is this pay hike going to last for? So if he goes at 100s every week, all right, you're going to make from Fraser, from 400k, he'll go to, let's say, 480k in 4 weeks. Is that enough? 80k profit, okay? Say 90k, all right? Is that enough? Possibly it is. However, if in between these 100s he scores, let's say, a 74, okay, the money drops. There's nothing left, okay? Only two pay jumps, and it's 50k, and it's all over. So Fraser is massive high risk, and at this time of the year, is it worth a risk for a player like Fraser? I don't know, because I've seen these scores. I've seen the 49 and the 50 and the 68, which has been the frustrating scores. So I'd say no. I'd say pass on Fraser, only because of the unknown. Okay, that's the only reason. Not knocking the young man back because he's a gun youngster, but that come high risk. Now at 450k, there's Rowan Marshall. Let's add him to the list. Okay, Marshall. Now, some of you are going to find it impossible to bring him in, okay, because you don't have, you got the Gorns and the Sherrys, and possibly at flex you've now put in Flynn. So how are you going to fit Marshall in? Well, you can't, because you can't trade out Gorn or Sherry for him. It's not worth it, because there's no spots for him. So Marshall at 451k. Now, Marshall has history of scoring well, okay? These 3 games here, he scored 61, 52, 65. He's also got a history of scoring bad. So he either goes very bad or he goes very good, okay? So nothing in between. So Marshall is the perfect player you put in your team at flex, and once you got a full primo team, because if he scores a 60 or a 50, the score gets taken out, so you don't have that score. However, once he scores a 120, 170, 130, the score comes in. It's a big score. So Marshall is a genuine flex player that suits his system. He doesn't suit a best 22, but he suits a best 23 system, if that makes sense, or flex position best 22. Yeah, that's what I meant. So, how much can Marshall make? Well, if Marshall goes at 120, okay, and he can do this, he's done this before. He can be up to a roughly 560k in no time. Okay, when's his buy round? Well, let's say Melbourne is his last game, and he's got to play Gawn to get that 120. So it's going to be hard, but he gets to 570k by the time he gets to his buy. So he's made 120k for you. If he goes at 110, all right, let's just say he goes at 110. What does he do? All right, by the time he gets to his buy, he's at 530k. He makes 80k. But Marshall's a player that can. I mean, last year, all right, if you go Freo, he scored a 169 against Freo, a 120 against Carlton, and 123 against West Coast. If he repeats the same thing, okay, 169, okay, 169, 120, I think it was, and 123. Just has to repeat the same thing, okay? And mind you, again, playing West Coast against Flynn, okay? Now, if he repeats these, all right, his price is 586k. All right, he's made 130k in just 3 weeks, okay? So you could actually switch him from 450k to Sherry virtually straight away. So, but I would keep Marshall because Marshall's a perfect flex player. So it's a genuine option, especially if he goes massive against Freo. And we've seen Rucks score big against Freo, and he's playing at Marvel Stadium. Then he plays Carlton. They actually conceded to Ruckman. Then he plays West Coast, who conceded to Ruckman. So he can go huge. Okay, he can score a 140 against West Coast. Against Carlton, say a 120, 130. If he does something like this, he's at 600k in 3 weeks. Okay, so from 450k to 600k in 3 weeks' time. But this is not guaranteed, of course. This is if he can do it. Now, the theme we had here was, we need a hero, so Rowan Marshall could be that hero. Just come down. The next player we could be targeting is Todd Goldstein at 377k. Now, with Goldstein, the only problem is his matchup. It's against Sherry this week, and then he has a matchup against Sydney. So he's got 2 tough matchups back to back. Then he's got the Western Bulldogs and Richmond, so it gets a bit easier for him. So against North Melbourne, his previous high score was 74. He's only played it once because he used to play for North Melbourne, obviously. Just come down. So his best score was a 74 last year. So if he scores a 74 this week, okay, and then let's say he goes, well, let's put him at 100 every week, all right, 100, and then just give him this week, it's a tough game, just give him an 80, all right? He's going to have a tough draw, tough game. So what does he project? What's his projection? He's going to roughly go to around about 470k by round 13. His buy is in round 16. So by the time you get to his buy, have all the games, he would have made 487k. So he made 100k for you and scored you 100. So got virtually a rookie off the field. So Goldstein is another option. So we've added him into the list here. Todd Goldstein at 377k. But the only way that we can get Goldstein is something like this. If we go to our team, to get first of all, to get Marshall, okay, let's go over here, points. To get Marshall, we have to trade out the Nank, okay, that's this week. To get Goldstein, we're either going to trade out Flynn in case he gets dropped, okay, so Flynn's at 340k, could be a straight swap to Goldstein once Flynn gets dropped, or we trade out De Koning, which I don't want to do, but it's another option if Flynn's still playing, and we can trade, not this week, but probably the following week, once Goldstein's on the bubble, and put Goldstein there, and which then gives you a lot of cash to play with, and then you can upgrade another player. So we're going to do some tossing and turning with blue chips, okay? Remember I talked about blue chips last week? Well, this is our blue chips, the cheapo style blue chips. Now, there are more blue chips on the horizon as well. Let me show you the other blue chips. Then the next player on the list is Chad Warner at 461k. Now, it may seem like a bargain. However, does he fit into our team is a question now, because let's put Chad Warner. Why have I got all these trade buttons here? Okay, hang on. Let's put Chad Warner back. We'll go back to him in a minute. Okay, now cancel the trades, okay? Now, especially with my team, all right? If I put Petrarca and Davidson switch, all right? Where am I going to put Chad Warner, okay? If I've got Rankin, Smith, Petrarca, McRae, and Caleb Daniel as my 5 forwards, who's the 6th best forward? Now, yes, I can leave Warner in the midfield for now and then move him to the forward line later on. But is Chad Warner the forward that I want when I can actually get Pupu in that spot at 313k? Because although Pupu is going to be the ideal loop to go up and down here, is Chad Warner the one I want as a spare, or do I actually want a player like this as a spare? Now I'm going to go over here, back into my team. Okay, let's go players. What kind of spare player do I want? Okay, a player like Chad Warner, or do I want a player that can do something like this, or do I want the horny man back? Okay, and or do I want a player that's going to play? Let's go Geelong. All right. Now I want a player that's going to play finals. Okay, so we're assuming Geelong's going to play finals. It's a player like Jeremy Cameron. Not talking about now, but Jeremy Cameron after the bye rounds, because when's his bye? He's got his bye round in round 16, so I can wait on Jeremy Cameron until round 16. He's going to go. He's going to have a few big games, but after round 16, he gets to round 17, plays Richmond. All right, look at his draw after his bye: Richmond, GWS, St Kilda, North Melbourne, Port Adelaide, Essendon, Sydney, and Richmond. This is an absolute dream draw. Richmond twice. Okay, now he scored a one last year. Well, it doesn't show here, but he has scored a 160 against Richmond. He does well against them. So you get Jeremy Cameron in round 16. So if you go back to my team, you can loop. Okay, so if we just do a couple of trades here, all right? Trade him out and him out. Okay, let's keep Armstrong, because I want to keep a non-playing play here now. So if we bring in Sydney, okay, we're talking about future trades as well. So we're not just talking about this week, all right? This is what I want my forward line to look like, okay? And let's put Jeremy Cameron there. Now we can loop. Actually, not Warner. All right, we want Pupu there, okay? Because we can't afford Warner. St Kilda. Where is St Kilda? Where's Pupu? Okay, what can I find you? Here he is. Okay, so this is the forward line that I want. Okay, I want to have 5 forwards that are decent. Okay, and the 6th forward to be able to be looped between a full forward that can score 160s. Okay, and he'll have early games against a more consistent forward who may score 80, 90 to 100. Okay, so this is what I would prefer rather than have Warner here. I'd rather have Jeremy Cameron, who can go really crazy. So that's why I'm a bit hesitant on Chad Warner, because I'm not sure he fits my team. That's the only issue I have. Now, if we change our filter, or a little thing, it's called the smart search, okay? Now, if we do the smart search and look for players that may rise, let's say 20k in value, okay? That means they got a low break, or even 15k in value. That means their break-evens are low, okay? Let's go for expensive players, primos. Now, which players are on the horizon? Now, you got Sherry, okay? Now, Sherry's break-even is 41. It's probably going to be a now or never for Sherry, okay? Nick Dacos, break-even is 80, okay? Now, if Nick Dacos against Geelong, okay? Now, nothing is guaranteed, of course, okay? But there's always an if involved. Now, if Nick Dacos against Geelong scores an 89, okay, this is what happens. If he scores what he scored last time, an 89, his price drops around about 612k. If he scores, say, a 144, okay, then his price goes up 30k. He becomes 668k, almost unattainable. So, but who's going to pay 640k for Nick Dacos now? So it's very expensive. But there are other players like Lloyd Meek. Okay, now Lloyd Meek, 566k. Now, Lloyd Meek's scoring is actually decent. If you look, 118, 105, 113, 161. Now, if Lloyd Meek goes at 120s, All right, the next 3 weeks. But the problem is he's got Melbourne and Gold Coast, so it's going to be hard for him to do this. Okay, but if he does do this, he goes 6-13K. It's not enough. Okay, so forget about Lloyd Meek. Who else is here going to make some cash? Jake Bowie. Okay, what's Jake Bowie? I'm not sure about Jake Bowie. Okay, okay, maybe not Jake Bowie. Lockie Neal. And now Lockie Neal's break even. Let's go to Lockie Neal. Okay, back to Lockie Neal. Break even 79. If Lockie Neal now goes on a run, okay, and we're noticing now that he's actually starting to score well. The tags are gone. Who's left to tag him? Okay, is anyone else? Gold Coast, North, Melbourne. Well, he can go nuts on all these games. Okay, so if Lockie Neal goes at 120s, okay, he goes to he makes 33K in 2 weeks. Goes up to around about 600K. If he has the odd big game, which we know Lockie Neal can do, his price becomes 620K. So he can become out of range, but only 23% owned, but still is also a chance to go up high. Matt Kennedy, the role I don't trust. Finn Callahan is a good one. Okay, now Finn Callahan, if you don't own him, okay, it's 454K. His last 2 scores are 116. We talked about his graph. If he goes at 110, okay, even at 110, the next, say, 5 or 6 games, okay, he goes to 540K. He makes 100K for you. His buy is on round 16 as well. You can trade him out on his buy. He'll go up to about 550K. That's 100K profit. So Finn Callahan is another option. Now, we have seen Finn Callahan score poorly, okay? And Finn Callahan is playing Sydney this week. The tag is coming. So we can have a bad game possibly this week for Finn Callahan. So there is a problem. But because he's playing on the wing, he's not the player that Sydney would target, I think. I think they will target Tom Green more than Finn Callahan. So we'll see how that goes. Now, with all these options in mind, okay, who are we targeting this week? Okay, now what are we going to do? Okay, let's work this out now because we've got too many options. Now, we're not going to pick up the Mills and the Coleman and the Poo-Poos, okay, this week. We're going to watch them for at least 2 games. However, we need to plan for them in case we need to bring in 2 players at the same time later on. If all 3 are playing this week, we're in trouble because how can you bring all 3 in 3 weeks' time? It's going to be impossible. So we're going to watch them anyway, just the first games to see how they go. But the plan is to eventually have these players in our team to take out the rookies. So do we need to rush to get these rookies off the field is the question now. Since we're going to wait on these 3 players, we can wait a week. Okay, we don't have to rush to get the rookies off the field. However, if we were going to get the rookies off the field, okay, let's optimize this team. Optimize. Okay, let's do that. If we were going to get the rookies off the field, this would be the trades. Okay, so I would have to trade out Luke Traynor because he's got the cash. Okay, and I don't want to trade out Luke Traynor, but I would have to trade him out, and I have to trade out Davidson. So 2 rookies are gone. Okay. And then I would have to bring in from Sydney, Chad Warner. All right, so that's 1. Then I would have to bring in from the Western Bulldogs, and we're now gambling because we don't know about the job security. Buslinger, okay, and played under 3 games. Players I can afford. Okay, Buslinger. So this gives me 1K left, so I could just afford it. Okay, so this gets 1 rookie off the field, but then it gives me a rookie that's going to score less than what I had before. So if my rookie was scoring 80s before, now he's going to score a 60. So the scoring drops in the forward in defense. However, the scoring improves in the forward line. So my projection goes to 22.94. So that's one option. Okay, so that's something to consider, getting 1 rookie off the field. It then gives me 3 rookies here, but 2 of them are very high-scoring rookies. So 3 rookies here. We've got Lindsay, that's 4. And then we've got Cleary, that's 5. So I only got 5 rookies left on field. Okay, so that's one option. Now, the second option is the theme that we've got today, which is the hero. We're holding out for a hero. Now, if we're going to hold out for a hero, we're going to go to St Kilda, okay? And the hero is Roll Marshall, Romo, as they call him now. Roll Marshall is the hero. If we bring him in, all right, that gives us 104K. Now, with 104K, what can we do? Okay, now let's have a look. Okay, we can't do much. So if we then trade out Peyton, all right, trade out Peyton, then bring in the Western Bulldogs defender again, okay, under 3 matches, okay, Buzzlinger, it gives us complete the trade, all right, and let's do optimize. It gives us a 22.7, so we're 20 points short, all right, not that it mattered, but what we've done now is we've got Marshall in the team that can make some cash. Plus, we have 147K in the bank for next week, okay? But we've still got the extra rookie on field this week, but it's trainer, so he can go at 80. So it's not disaster. But that's another option. And we're preparing for next week because next week there are more bargains coming, okay? So we can sort of plan for next week to bring in extra bargains. See, next week we could even bring in 2 of these. Let's say Mills and Pupu. If they play this week, we see them for one week and then bring 2 in. So we get 2 rookies off at the same time next week. So having that 147K is massive to get this done. So that's the option that I'm considering as well. Then we have another option. We can upgrade Nank, all right, and get best of the best. Okay, we can get Sherry, who's about to go nuts. Okay, now Sherry was playing with that sore hammy, and we're sort of watching him now. He's priced at 580K, 60K cheaper than starting price. Okay, can go, as you can see, 130s, 140, 150s. So let's just give him the 130s. If he goes at 130s, project his score or project his price, he becomes unattainable. He goes at 650K. If he goes at 120s, still unattainable, all right? 620K, it's only 50K more than what he is now, but still, he's got games against Essendon. Against Essendon, he can go easily 159, okay? Against Brisbane Lions, what's he going to do against them? Brisbane Lions, he can easily go, you can go 130 against them, okay? We saw on the weekend that even Marshall went 130 against Richmond. Gordon went 170, so he can go 145. So if you project his score there or his price, he goes to 680K. It becomes unattainable. So if the plan is to have these 3 players as your players that are going to be your primos later on, okay, because we're going for the bargain basement, then you want best of the best around them. So having Sherry is not a bad thing because you're going to have Sherry and DeConning as your 2 guns. So that's another option. So to get this deal done, all right, this is how it's going to work. We've got turn off Sherry there. Okay, we got 20. We need 27K. So Peyton goes out. All right, and then we bring in. And the Western Bulldogs play. Now, I'm always going Bustlinger here, if you take note. I'm not going to touch my midfield because these players can still play games. I don't want to trade them out. Marias, Nevitz, and Gross, if they're playing, I want to keep them. I want to get rid of players that are not playing. That's my preference. So, players I can afford, and Bustlinger, and that gives me 16K. So, that's another option. Okay, that's plan B. So, and still, with this option, by upgrading, by getting Cherry, even next week, all right, I can still bring in Pupu and Mills, or Pupu and Coleman. I can bring these 2 in still next week because I've got the cash for it. I've got trainer's cash, okay, and I've got also cash from Davidson. So it covers the bill, okay. I can afford it. Just cover down. So next week, that takes another two rookies off the field next week, and I've improved my ruck, and I've got a ruck that may go up to a 650K again, back to his starting price. So that's another good. Plus, Sherry's draw coming up is insane. Okay, now we saw at the start we got the Richmond game. He's got West Coast in round 13. He's got Freo. I mean, he can score against all these teams. Even against Melbourne, he scored in round 1. He scored a 120 against them, so he could score 136. So he can go nuts. Okay, Sherrick. I mean, he struggled these 3 games because of the hammy. Okay, the hammy's back to normal again. So Sherry is the option, another option. Now, a move that I don't want to do, okay, but I can do, okay, is going to be a Nank out. All right, so Nank goes out. Then we're going to bring in, to replace the Nank, we're going to go over here, and we're going to bring back Marshall, who can go up in big value. Okay, so Marshall, see, Marshall's break even is 68. It's very low. As is the break even, as we saw before. Sherry's break even 54. So both of them are absolutely bargain right now. So we can trade out Nank to Marshall, and then we've got to keep the Conning, all right? But we can then trade out Oliver, all right, and bring in Lockie Neal. That's another option. Now we're doing sideways in here. All right, we're not losing in the ruck because Marshall and Nank same thing, but cheaper. Okay, but we improved an Oliver to a gun in Lockie Neal. Oliver, if you take note of Oliver, let's go take Neal out, put Oliver back. Oliver is a pretender. Okay, at the moment he's a fake primo. Okay, 91, 98, 86, 98, 80, 93. He's nearly there, but he's not, okay? He's getting a rookie off the field, but you're better off, if you're going to improve your team, you're better off to get the guns, okay? But the Marshall option is still decent, but it's something to think about still. Now, with Tom de Koning, okay, now, he's been very, very good to us this year. He's been awesome, all right? As you can see here, he scores 148, 104, 130. He's been magnificent, okay? He's probably been our best player, most consistent player all year. He's got easy opponents to come still. He's got Adelaide, St Kilda. He's got Sydney, that's a bit tougher. GWS, Essendon, West Coast. He's got easy games all the way to round 15. Okay, now against North Melbourne, he scored the 100. He's got them again, so he still did okay against North Melbourne. But it's too much of a sideways trade if I do De Koning. Okay, if I do De Koning to Sherry, that's a massive sideways trade because De Koning can do exactly what Sherry's going to do. All right, so that's not going to work. However, if I do De Koning out to a Royal Marshall, it doesn't work because I've still got the Nank. I'd rather have De Koning than the Nank, so that's not going to work. So I can't do both Ruckman out and Sherry. That's not going to happen, okay? It's just a waste because De Koning and Sherry, same thing but different. So cancel that idea. Now, my good friend on Twitter, the Fiddler, pointed me to this new website that he's found, okay? It's called footyscores.net. It's actually an unbelievable website. I actually liked it a lot. I've actually seen nothing like this one, okay? Now, I'm going to show you some things in here. Now, I'm going to go to round let's go to round 7, okay? Now, round 7, we're going to go to the Saints game. Okay, go to Saints against the Lions. We're going to click on, okay, are we in the right year? Okay, we are. Roll Marshall. Okay, we've got Roll Marshall. Now, here you can see his heat map pops up, okay, and then you got his disposals. But if you go to advanced settings, okay, it shows you 18 pressure acts, 9 effective disposals, 12 hitouts to advantage. So it gives you extra details, okay? 5 score involvements, 0 goal assists, 6 spoils, 7 ground ball gets, okay? So these are stats I've actually never seen before. And you can see here, disposals, okay? We've got 133 Supercoach. He's got 18 disposals. So from his 18 disposals, he went at 50%, which we have. This is the basic stats we've seen before, but we haven't seen the advanced stats before. So we're getting these score launches, 3 of them, I don't know what that means, okay? But 2 intercepts, 7 uncontested possessions. So you're getting all these stats, okay? Now, take note here, the 18 pressure acts, all right? So you got that there. Now, if we go to go back to footy scores, okay, go back over here and compare his round 7 with his round 6, okay? Now, go back to St Kilda, okay? Where's the Saints against the Dogs, okay? And in this game, he didn't score that well, all right? So, as we can see here, if we go back to Rowan Marshall, only scored the 52, okay? So, what did he do? Advanced stats, okay? Pressure acts, only 5, okay? So, before we just saw 18, now it's only 5. Intercepts 2, hit us to advantage 5. We saw it before there was 12. And this is against a weaker ruckman. All right. Now, if you go back to the previous week, okay, and we have to go back over. How do we do this? Okay, go back to the back over here. Footy scores. Okay, go to the previous week, round 5. All right, the Saints against the Giants. And we go back to Rowan Marshall. Again, this is where he didn't score well, all right? This is the risk with Rowan Marshall, okay? Advanced stats. 1 hit out to advantage, only 1, okay? And this is against Briggs, okay? And 6 uncontested possessions, 50 out ruck contests, 9 pressure acts. This is the problem with Rowan Marshall. The hit outs to advantage. He doesn't always get them, but we have to keep in mind Rowan Marshall at the time. If we go back to our app, okay, let's put Rowan Marshall. Where's Rowan Marshall? Okay, get rid of Nank for now. Okay, get back to Rowan Marshall. At the time, Rowan Marshall, okay, back over here. These 3 games here, where he scored 61, 52, and 66. In these 3 games, he was going to be a laid out, all 3 of them, okay? They were carrying Boyd as the emergency. They weren't sure if Marshall was fit enough to play. So I would say he played all 3 of these games injured, all right? Because you can see when he's played against the Nank, only the 117, though, it's not much compared to Gorn's 170. It's only the last week where he picked up and scored the 133. It comes with a high risk, massive risk, if you're going to pick Marshall. So with Marshall, for me, okay, I'm actually willing to wait 1 week for him. Even though it's at 451k, and even though his break-even is very low, it's at, actually, what did I do that for? Okay, back over here, where's Marshall? Even though Marshall's break-even is 68, I'm willing to pay extra for him, all right, this week. I want to see him do it again. And because of his inconsistency, I want him to go, let's say he goes nuts and scores a 130, all right? Projected price. It's only 477k, goes up 26k. I'm happy to pay that 26k extra next week for him and go down from DeConning to him if I have to. Because I don't know if Pittinet's going to play now. I don't think Pittinet should be playing considering how good DeConning's playing. But I can even go down up to Marshall from Flynn if he gets dropped because he's going to play Gorn and he would have made all his cash. So I could just go upgrade from Flynn to Marshall the following week. So that's an option I have. And I'm happy. Even 470k is still cheap. He's 152k less than starting price this week. He might be 130k less than starting price, but still cheap price. I'd rather have a fit Marshall, okay, than a Marshall that I'm not sure about. So my trade this week is going to be one of the options that I showed previously, and it's going to be Nank going to go out, and I'm going to grab Sherry. He's going to be my hero this week. Okay, now Sherry's my hero. He comes in, and we're going to get rid of Payton because now we don't know if Payton is injured. Okay, now let's go have a look at Sydney's injury report. Now this just came out today, and when you go here and down to a Callum Mills, it says 1 or 2 weeks. So Callum Mills is around the corner, going to come in, but Payton to be confirmed. So we don't even know how bad it is. And Sam Wicks' calf is a test. So Sam Wicks is going to come back. Payton actually replaced Sam Wicks. Sam Wicks is the preferred option than Payton. So Payton's job security, we don't know if we'll see him again this year, okay? Because all their players are coming back very soon. So I think I'm actually happy to trade out Payton and get a rookie on my field that's not playing and replace him with a rookie that still might not play, but is playing right now, and that's Buzzlinger. Okay, we're going to gamble on him, on Buzzlinger, because we don't have many options. Okay, and if we don't bring in Buzzlinger this week, all right, let's say we don't bring in Buzzlinger this week, all right, we don't do this trade. Next week, Huswaite, let's say he scores a 70 against Richmond, then plays again, is named to play. And let's say Buzzlinger is named to play next week. So we've got two rookies named to play next week. We have to do double downgrade next week, all right, and get them both in, because we need cash. So how do we get them both in, okay, when we want to upgrade our team at the same time? So even though Nank to Sherry is a sideways, Nank to Sherry is actually an upgrade, okay? Because if we go and we know what Nank is scoring, and we know that Sherry is a keeper. We know Sherry has the potential to explode in price and go nuts. So I'm happy to leave my rookies on field this week as they are, okay? So let's complete this trade. All right, trade is complete. I'm happy to leave my rookies on field this week as they are. I'm going to actually, let's do optimize. Okay, it goes to 22.89, so it's pretty similar to when I took out Trainer and Davidson. So my rookies all stay on field. The difference is Sherry is going to play against Goldie. Okay, now Sherry against Goldie could go nuts. Okay, now if he does that, we're virtually cooked. We're finished. We need to get these players that are scoring the 150s. So if Sherry goes a 150, we're literally cooked. Project the score. He goes up 46k. I can't get him again. Okay, that's it. I can't get Sherry the rest of the year. Miss out on all these draws. It's game over. And Sherry is owned by nearly everybody. Okay, and I don't even have him. So better late than never, as they say. So we're going to bring in Sherry. He's going to be our hero. And Nank, if you own him, is going to score you the 150s as all the players, and probably get a role change. Might take the kick-ins. He's going to go nuts, the Nank. And next week, we're going to bring in two pretend primos, value primos, okay, from the reject shop, Coleman and Poo-Poo, or Poo-Poo and Mills. I'm not fussed which ones. And these are our three rookies that are going to eventually come into the team, and they're going, or primos, or pretend primos, and they're going to take three rookies off the field. And that's going to be our plan now. And we're just going to go for best of the best, for every team we can get when they're at their cheapest. So Sherry comes in and what discount do we get from Sherry? 63k discount. We'll take it. Anyway, that's going to be all for today. Now, if there is a late change, I'll put up a video with a late change. It depends how late the change is. So at the moment, I'm happy with this trade, and I'm happy to keep it like this. And it's going to be, as I said, that's going to be all for today. Thank you for joining, and remember one thing. It's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. Ciao for now.
That's all, folks.